Hi, I'm Rob Daviau, game designer for the new upcoming detective expansion, Dig Deeper, and I'm here to talk about my 5 favorite detective or cop TV shows. There is no particular reason for picking these. You'll notice that some that are very popular are not on the list, and there'll probably be some surprises on here, but I want to talk about why I picked them. Number 5, actually, they're in no particular order. Number 1 on the list is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Not really a deep detective show. It isn't a whodunit, but I'm recording this during quarantine, during COVID, and my wife and I are catching up. We had never seen it. We've watched through 4 seasons. It is making time fly by. Reminds me of Cheers back from the 80s, and so it's always going to have sort of a special place in my heart, getting my wife and I through staying home like we're all doing now. Next one on the list is Sherlock, the BBC show. Each one is a mini movie. They're very, very smart. They're very interesting, and often when I'm finished, I still don't know exactly what happened and have to think about it, which is exactly what a Sherlock story should do. If you're as smart as Sherlock, then Sherlock isn't being Sherlock. So I thought they're wonderfully made, especially the early series, and they sort of just came out of nowhere and reignited some of the Sherlock Holmes TV shows and movies that we've seen lately. Leads me into my next one, which is Elementary, the TV show that just wrapped up, that was on for 6 or 7 seasons. Modern day Sherlock in New York, just a good police procedural. In this case, sometimes you could be smarter than Sherlock, and like most procedurals, eventually, is treading the same ground. But I thought it was a fresh, modern take on a character that had been written 130 years beforehand. Then there's Burn Notice. Burn Notice is kind of like a show where you go, what? Really? My kids loved this show when they were younger, and I have very fond memories of watching this when they were just old enough to understand what a heist was and what a con was. It was silly. It didn't take itself too seriously. It was just something that when they were younger I could put on and we could watch while I was making dinner, while we were eating dinner, and I just got some nice dad memories from that one. And the last one is Person of Interest. Person of Interest started out like a procedural, and then it had an ongoing story that kind of became the main point. Most of the time when I'm watching something like that, I'm like, I just want to go back to the crime of the week. I'm not watching this show for a long story arc. Person of Interest kind of turned that on its head. I didn't care about the stories anymore. I cared about the big story anymore, and I just thought how they did it and the story they told was kind of cool. So these are my 5 top sort of crime and cop shows right now. And you notice there's not a lot of stuff from the 70s and the 80s, and I left a lot of things out, but I wanted a list that maybe talked about some things that were a little different. So thank you very much. Hope you get a chance to dig deeper. See you around.